The Biden administration approved the biggest increase to SNAP benefits. SNAP benefits are commonly known as food stamps. 42 million Americans are currently receiving SNAP benefits. The border situation continues to get worse. The Arizona Attorney General is blaming the Secretary of Homeland Security. The Attorney General is asking President Biden to remove the Secretary from power. President Biden gave his statement on Afghanistan. I'll give you his direct quotes and a summary of what he said. We're going to go over the current situation in Afghanistan. It is a disaster over there. Civilians are so desperate to leave the country, they're hanging onto airplanes that are taking off and plunging to their deaths. If you're in New York City, please let us know how the people are reacting. And Congress approved a pay raise to the congressional staff. This is your Tuesday news, and I hope you're having a very nice day. Even though the economy is improving, 10% of US households do not have enough food to eat. On Monday, the Biden administration approved the biggest increase to SNAP benefits. SNAP is a supplemental nutrition assistance program, also known as food stamps. 42 million Americans are currently receiving SNAP benefits. The government did a study and found that 88% of SNAP recipients are struggling to pay for a healthy diet. SNAP recipients were given a temporary 15% boost to their benefits. That temporary boost is expiring at the end of September. Beginning in October, average SNAP benefits will increase by 25% compared to pre-levels. With the new policy, SNAP benefits will increase by $36 a month. The U.S. Department of Agriculture said the updated benefits formula is based on current food prices, dietary recommendations, and what Americans most commonly eat. The U.S. Agriculture Secretary said SNAP benefits ensure that low-income families have access to a healthy diet that supports children in the classroom and reduces healthcare costs. I wanted to address rumors on a fourth stimulus check. There are multiple reports originating from the U.S. Sun claiming that people will receive a fourth stimulus check on August 19th. This is not happening. These are completely fake rumors. There have been petitions for another stimulus check, but Congress has not acted on any of them. Cases are going up and it's threatening the economic recovery. The Delta variant is giving the Democrats a reason to pass more stimulus in the human infrastructure bill. However, two key Democrats, Senator Joe Manchin and Kyrsten Sinema, have already said that they will not support any further stimulus. The only stimulus that's going to be approved is the extension of the child tax credit payments. This is expected to be extended until 2025. 36 million families will benefit from this program's extension, but people without dependent children will not benefit from this. It's the same situation with unemployment benefits. Multiple Democrats are saying they oppose the extension of federal unemployment benefits. Senator Joe Manchin said, "I'm done with extensions, the economy is coming back." Manchin says we need to support jobs and there's 9 million job openings to fill. So any rumors about a fourth stimulus check are simply not true. In political news, on February 2nd, 2021, President Biden swore in Alejandro Mayorkas, the Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security. The Arizona Attorney General wrote a letter to President Biden urging the removal of Mayorkas. The Attorney General said, with Mayorkas in power, U.S. border security is a disaster because unauthorized migrants are surging past the border. Even Mayorkas admits that we're in a bad situation. Mayorkas said, if our border is our first line of defense, we're going to lose, and this is unsustainable. Republican Congressman Tom Cotton is saying that Mayorkas needs to resign. Republican Congressman Andy Biggs introduced an article of impeachment against Mayorkas. On Monday, President Biden gave his official statement on Afghanistan. President Biden defended his decision to pull out of Afghanistan. Here are Biden's word-for-word quotes. The truth is, this did unfold more quickly than we anticipated. American troops cannot and should not be fighting in a war and dying in a war that Afghan forces are not willing to fight for themselves. We gave them every chance to determine their own future. We could not provide them with the will to fight for that future. I stand behind my decision. After 20 years, I've learned the hard way there was never a good time to withdraw U.S. forces. I know my decision will be criticized, but I would rather take all that criticism instead of passing the decision to a future president. President Biden also spoke directly to American veterans who feel that the Taliban takeover made their sacrifices pointless. Biden said, "I want to acknowledge how painful this is to so many of us. The scenes that we're seeing in Afghanistan, they're gut-wrenching, especially for our veterans, our diplomats, humanitarian workers, anyone who has spent time on the ground working to support the Afghan people. For those who have lost loved ones in Afghanistan, and for the Americans who have fought and served in the country, this is deeply, deeply personal. It is for me as well. In international news, with Afghanistan now under the control of the Taliban, thousands of civilians are trying to escape out of the country. More than 100,000 Afghan civilians helped U.S. forces during the war. The American government is rushing to evacuate these civilians without visas, otherwise the Taliban will release people. Crowds of people are literally clinging on to moving airplanes on the tarmac at the airports. Afghan civilians are so desperate, they're holding on to airplanes that are taking off. At least 7 people, most likely more, hung onto airplanes and plunged hundreds of feet to their deaths. That's how desperate and chaotic the situation is. Democratic Congressman Ruben Gallegos said, just put them on effing planes and get them out of there. Congressman Gallegos said, it's important to help the refugees before worrying about the paperwork. Gallegos said, evacuate every person we can that helped us in Afghanistan. Skip the bureaucratic bullshit. Get people on planes. Land them anywhere in the United States. We're a country of 330 million people. We can easily absorb 100,000 people. The United States has made a deal with the Taliban. The Taliban will not interfere with evacuations from the airports. The deal was made by senior Taliban officials and U.S. General Frank McKenzie. General McKenzie told the Taliban, if the Taliban interferes with the evacuation, the U.S. military will take action. The not-for-profit group, Afghans for a Better Tomorrow, released a statement that said, the Biden administration has failed the Afghan people. The U.S. has a moral obligation to provide safe haven for the refugee crisis they created. The U.S. must open their doors to Afghan refugees and provide them with safe haven. Just as a reminder, when President Biden was campaigning for presidency, his foreign affairs policy slogan was America is back. But all the images and all the videos that you can see on the internet says a different story. The criticism got so bad that it spilled over onto former President Barack Obama's Instagram accounts. People leaving comments were furious. Some people are so angry or so desperate that they were asking Obama to do something. It got so bad, Obama disabled the comments on his Instagram accounts. In current events, New York City's indoor mandate begins today. You need to show proof of in order to go into restaurants, bars, movie theaters, museums, concerts, sporting events, aquariums, zoos, convention centers, bowling alleys, arcades, casinos, adult entertainments, nightclubs, coffee shops, bakeries, fast food restaurants, gyms, pools, and more. Mayor Bill de Blasio said, we want people to enjoy the fullness of the city. I'm absolutely certain that this is going to motivate a lot of people to. Businesses will face a fine for failure to comply. Fines will increase for repeat offenses. Enforcement of the fines will begin on September 13th. If you're in New York City, please let us know how the people are reacting to this. And I wanted to leave you with this news coming from the politicians. And I wanted to say thank you to people commenting and pointing this out. And I didn't have time to cover this yesterday because we were talking about Afghanistan, the CDC eviction protection, Trump's Remain in Mexico policy, the politicians giving tax deductions to the wealthy, the droughts, etc.